Well, I tried. Francis Ngannou, I tried. I tried to butt out of his business. I realized I was over here for a period of time, stepping into Francis's lane that I don't really know about. I tried to get a hold of myself, guys. But I come to you about, I'm genuinely curious. I'm genuinely curious what's going on here. And I'd really like to hear the story from the beginning. And I don't think it would hurt anybody. I don't think it would hurt anybody's negotiations. I don't think it would hurt anybody's hopes getting Francis and Tyson Fury in there together in some kind of makeshift something to the sport they're going to make up. I don't think it would hurt if you just told us the story from the beginning. And I'm curious, where did that come from? I take Francis at his word, and I find Francis to be very polite. I really do. He's been a gentleman. I've tried to get pissed off at him. He doesn't give me the room. Shows up in a suit, he speaks calmly, and he was nice enough, in all fairness, guys, to share his business with us. To share what it is he wanted to do, what he plans to say to Dana, how he hopes to work this out. He shared it with us. We'd be completely in the dark. We'd think the champ's just out with a knee injury. We'd have no idea this was going on if it wasn't for him. I mean, in all fairness, right? But I still don't know the story. Did he and Tyson sit down? Did these two run into it? They're out in Las Vegas. They bump into each other. They hatch this plan. Was this all done in the media? Tyson says Francis's name. Francis says, hell yeah, I'm in. One of them says, we're going to make up some rules. The other one hears about it and says, yep, that's exactly what we're going to do. I mean, is that what happened here? Did these guys have some kind of an agreement? They appeared to be chummy to some degree when Francis got in the ring for the face-off with Tyson. Calling it a face-off is hard. I think it turned into a joint appearance, but it worked. It really did work. The announcers were cued for it. They plugged it to the world. Here we are, got 90,000 people live in attendance, people watching around the world. I mean, it's just one of these things where they pulled it off. But what is that? What is it that they pulled off? Because Francis, when I talk about taking him at his word, is saying that he can't come back to the UFC. He just can't do it. Can't bring himself to sign that contract extension unless he has the opportunity to box Tyson Fury. Now, that's what Francis said. Am I taking him too literal? Did he mean to say, unless I have the opportunity to box, period? But that's not what he said. He said Tyson Fury. And I only ask you that because Tyson over the week, Tyson first off retired. Then he gave an asterisk next to the retirement that he will make up a sport and do it with Francis if they could pull that off. But now he's come out over the week and he said, you know what? I'm going to fight this Joshua guy. Need a couple of conditions, but set that aside. If Tyson is in fact coming back and he is going to box Joshua, which I would predict for you, and I think that you guys would believe that to be true as well, then you couldn't just give Francis a carve out. Couldn't just say you can box Tyson. Or can we? Can we say, yes, Francis, if you can get this thing, whatever this is, going with Tyson, you go right ahead. But then Francis sits down, December rolls around, which we're told is the deadline, takes a look at it. Tyson's got some business with Joshua coming up. Francis wants to go get a UFC fight, see if he can revisit that Tyson business down the road, which, by the way, does it go away if Tyson gets beat by Joshua? As unlikely as that is to happen, does it all go away? And I'm just asking the question. I don't know this. I'm taking Francis very literal and I'm taking him at his word, but I listen to Francis's words. I listen when he speaks. The heavyweight champion. Trying to do something that hasn't been done before, not to mention he's doing it politely. One thing Francis has not done is piss anybody off. He's done a very good job of that. So when he says, I must have the carve out to do whatever, right, the boxing, whatever he's going to call this, they're going to make up the rules with Tyson. Is it specific to Tyson? I mean, could Dana meet him part way? Could Dana come and go, Francis, okay, the Tyson thing. I don't get it. I don't love it. Let's get some dates down. Let me share with you the dates that I want to get you in the octagon. Let's figure out how we're going to do this, but I'm going to give you the carve out for Tyson. If he doesn't end up with Tyson, is it still a thing? And I bring that to you because possibly we've just solved the problem. I think most likely is, yes, I'm holding him too literal to his word. He just means to go box. But what if I don't? Because there's not a whole lot of guys that are offering to box, and there's not a whole lot of guys where that would work. There's absolutely no storyline told between Francis and any other boxer right now. And maybe they want to start from scratch, and maybe they want to do that, but I think that Tyson's going to do what every other boxer does, which is look out for number one. So if he's got an opportunity to go do some light work against Joshua in his home country for a tub full of money, not to mention legacy, he's kind of got to go beat up this Joshua guy if he has the opportunity. But that would delay Francis, and would that be okay with Francis? Francis might go, yeah, no, I get it. No problem. I'm an MMA fighter. But there's something out there called a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And if I have one, I want to make sure that the contract allows me to do it. If I never have one, we don't even revisit it. Maybe that's where Francis is at. Yes. Maybe. Maybe that it would be cool in the gang and he would have that problem solved. And Dana could meet him partway, show the dates that they might be able to work this out. And they might be able to work it out quite simply by it no longer being an opportunity. And I think you guys would understand that, wouldn't you? If you had an opportunity that was truly once in a lifetime, and it was one thing, and you don't even know if you can get it, you don't even know if this is going to come through, but you want the verbiage within your agreement to at least keep hope alive. That is all that you wanted. We would have to change our stance very much on Francis, and we would have to say that Francis is reasonable. And if Tyson goes off and does this thing and blocks Francis out when Tyson's well aware of the situation and position Francis has put himself in because they had some kind of agreement, I'd like to know. Inquiring minds, that would be good gossip for me. That would be very interesting. When Francis read that Tyson is now interested in boxing Joshua, how did he feel? Did he think that was above board? That was fair game? Did he get a pit in his stomach? Did he grab his phone and say, hey, what the hell's going on here? I don't know. I'd be really curious. I feel like on this entire Francis story, particularly as it pertains to his UFC contract and in conjunction with Tyson Fury, I feel like we all started out on second base. And if any media has the opportunity to speak, back him up a little bit. Where did this come from? Do you and Tyson have a relationship? Is it you personally? Is it your coaches? Is it your trainers? Is somebody in talks? Or was this just loosely done through the media? Francis saw an opportunity, got excited, which we all would do. And now he's seen, at least by what he's reading, that opportunity looks like it has removed itself. And in which case, is he ready to move on to UFC? Just a question. But I'd love to hear his answer.